episode of the Anti-Hero Chronicles by Mr. Joe Deprofio. That's him. That's him. Ready when you guys are. I guess I'll wait.
Take it away, Jeff.
Yeah, here we go. You've got enough food, water, and shit to do for a few days. I'll be back before then.
Wait, what? Where are you going? I thought we were hiding out together.
We were. Then that lug got himself hurt. Look, Cat, I get it. He's helped the both of us. But he led the GSO away to protect us, right? He did. But I won't have anyone martyr themselves for me. Not if I can do something about it.
With that, Leap was gone, leaving Audrey and her next question standing there left unanswered.
But what are you going to do?
Leap arrived back at her apartment after a series of calculated warps and carefully placed video screens. Warping via photo or memory always left her gassed, and having a live feed of where she intended to go was always the better way to do it. She rifled through her things at blistering speed. The GSO attack helis had been loaded up with the elite goons, and both Atreyu and Arclight were after Grimm. Capable as he may be, there was no way the intern was getting out of that. Not unless the GSO wanted him to. Leap stashed her pilfered stun baton, nanofiber switchblade, her recently acquired pistol, a pair of grenades, and was gone before she reconsidered her decision. Finding Grimm wouldn't be hard. She could follow the helicopters, and if that failed, the explosions.
Hello, boys.
What the? Where'd Martinez go? Leap announced her arrival in the chopper's vacant gunner seat with a smirk, a wave, and the metallic clink of a grenade pin against the deck.
5 seconds.
Leap was a blur, meting out punishment with a series of jabs from her switchblade, and wheeled around to plant the soles of her boots on the outer edge of the helicopter and turn the Gauss cannon into the passenger compartment. Leap squeezed the triggers, sending 3 ferromagnetic projectiles tearing through the hole and the soldiers.
3 seconds.
She scooped up 2 of the drum-fed assault rifles and slung them over her shoulder before warping to the rooftop below and sliding down the fire escape into the alley. The night sky cracked and bloomed with the flames of the grenade's detonation, and then the helicopters. Almost in time with the impact of the chopper's landing, a body soared through the wall next to Leap, and the wall directly across. She peeked around the hole in the wall where the body landed.
Bleed.
Leap checked the other hole where the body came from and felt her jaw slacken. A block away, through a very recently made tunnel, she saw Grimm, encased in ice and being hauled away from the GSO goons. She whipped back around the corner as Atreyu turned to look her way.
The poster boys head this way any second to check on Arclight. Warping with Grimm earlier wasn't too taxing, but warping with a block of ice half a dozen times to shake the GSO, Atreyu, and risk revealing that was something I can do is a bit more than I can justify. You know, he wouldn't leave you out to dry like that, Ms. Knight.
Leap whipped around, her baton sliding comfortably into her waiting hand, and cracked the smug-looking man across the jaw at maximum voltage. The surge of electricity was subsumed into a radiating Viridian aura as the man's head turned aside. Leap warped back across the hole, slid her baton back up her sleeve, and unslung both assault rifles, leveling them at the man in the suit.
All right, love. I'm going to count to 3. Then I'm going to start shooting, and Atreyu will get down here much faster. Who are you, and what do you want?
The man wiped his thumb across his chin and looked down at the small splotch of blood that came away.
I'm not your enemy, for starters, so I'd appreciate it if you'd lower the rifles. I want to help.
Whatever kind of help you're offering, I don't want. You look like the sort who offers with strings attached, and I hate owing anyone anything. I'll handle things my way, so stay out of it, or I'll pump you full of holes. Got it?
Did you just...
Ta for now!
Was that a no?
Password.
Jargon.
Leap answered before vanishing into the club with the swing of the door. That was the convenient part of her powers. If she wanted to go somewhere, she just did. The steady clomp of her boots on the dance floor sounded in time with the pounding of the bass and the sway of her hips as Leap sauntered toward the corner booth. Brandau's ring of bodyguards stepped forward, out from the crowd, dancers, and the shadows, and formed a line in front of the imposing man and his table.
Debonair, we have some business to settle. I'd hate to make mulch of your mates just to talk.
Leap crossed her arms over her chest and kicked out her left hip, being sure to prominently display the 2 GSO rifles and the Union Jack patch on her shoulder.
Let her through. Not that you lot could stop her.
Xander Brandau ordered as he rose from his seat. He spoke slowly and deliberately when speaking English.
Eudise Mexase, droga!
His men jumped and scattered. He was impeccably dressed, wearing a slate suit, deep purple shirt, and black loafers. His head was clean-shaven to show off an impressive number of scars and tribal tattoos, and his eyes punched holes straight through the neon haze of the club.
Come, let us speak. It seems you have been, busy since we last spoke, eh?
The Kingpin moved back to the booth and sat, gesturing to the seat across from him.
Catching a slug in the shoulder will do that, Xander. I trust that your boys found the package at the drop.
They did. However, those that were beaten were taken into custody.
That's your problem, Xander. I'm here on other business. We're settled from the last job. The agreement was that I get the item from deposit box 522, drop it where instructed, and leave. That's what happened, yeah?
Leap thumped one of her boots down, heel first on the heavy mahogany table before crossing the other over it. Brandau smirked and leaned back into the plush padding of the booth.
That is what happened. Gata, what is this business you're here for then, eh?
I need a crew. Small, smart, enhanced blokes who know how to use their heads in the moment.
Oh, so just a handful of my most capable men?
Women too. Let's not be sexist, Xander.
And what operation do you need this for?
That's my business. Do you have the crew I need, or do I need to go to the coterie directly?
Brandau's eyes went wide, though the rest of his face remained neutral.
You wouldn't,
I bloody well would.
I can give you 3. Do you have payment?
Leap unslung one of the high-end GSO rifles from her shoulder and tossed it onto the table.
What is,
So glad you asked, Xander. That is a rifle from one of Atreyu's strike squads. 567 ferromagnetic projectiles, the most advanced rifling, immaculate drum feeding, perfectly balanced with compensators, and advanced linking aim systems. If I recall, not one of these has been recovered and brought back to the black market, yeah?
Brandau's eyes widened again, hunger and ambition shining clearly through his dark irises.
That is, all correct.
And you get to be the first one to crack it open, reproduce, and bring them to market.
For you, Gata, I have 4 assets and a recent acquisition.
Oh?
Yes, Gata. I give to you 2 of my personal lieutenants, Shadow and Go Loud, 2 of my specialists, radio and techno, and Her.
Brandau said, pointing toward the bar.
Verna Riggs. I believe she was called Panzer by the GSO.
Leap resisted the instinct to whip around in her chair, and instead casually gazed over her shoulder. It was no small wonder as to why she hadn't spotted Panzer when she walked in. She had shed the GSO-mandated uniform for much more suiting apparel. Leap looked her up and down and let out a low whistle. Panzer wore a pair of heavy combat boots, tactical pants that, thanks to the 2 thigh holsters and gun belt, hugged the curves of her powerfully built legs and hips. As Leap's eyes continued to wander, powerfully built was an accurate description for Panzer overall. The dancing neon lights highlighted the deep cuts in her musculature, put on display by the form-fitting amber tank top she wore and the straps holding Angry Daddy against her back. The sides and back of Panzer's head were freshly shaved. Her hair was a much darker shade of red than Leap remembered from the night she caught a bullet through the shoulder. Leap realized she was staring when Panzer made direct eye contact with her. Despite the intensity of her gaze, Leap couldn't help but throw a wink her way.
And what do I get if I throw you the other rifle? I kid, Xander. I'm keeping this one.
Best of luck, Gata. I have never seen you so focused. I must know, what is so important?
Keep your eyes on the news and you'll find out. Send your lieutenants and specialists to this address. I'll take her home with me. I'll take her home with me. Grim Raven. Civilian name Sorley Grimmerson. Orphan of the Thorn Titan incident 12 years ago. Recently licensed as a street-level hero with the registered powers of speed and reflexes. Markers in your blood show additional powers of superhuman strength, stamina, speed, and reflexes, meaning that your registered powers are understated or missing. What do you have to say for yourself?
The tall, slender woman demanded. She wore a power suit, had her hair tied up in a tight black bun, and her blue eyes bored into Sorley's.
Lawyer.
Atreyu had only thawed him to his elbows. Everything lower than that was still encased in ice.
Allow me to make one thing perfectly clear, Mr. Grimmerson. You, despite your licensure, have been arrested and processed under Villain Clause 54.3b, subheading 2. You, effective immediately, have lost your right to counsel, your right to remain silent, and your right to ethical interrogation. You will tell me what I want to know, even if I have to tear it from your mind.
Psyker?
Psyker, the Inquisitor hero. Civilian name, Anastasia Guidry. She made a name for herself supporting the more prominent combat heroes, compelling confessions and cooperation from villains and their underlings once a super had softened them up, then vanished from the spotlight. Sorely put together why.
So, you get to do the dirty work, making people talk when they don't want to?
Oh, Mr. Grimmerson. You say that like I don't like to get my hands dirty. I can tell you that you and I are going to have a lot of fun.
Done.
The end.
The end of
Hey,
that.
there he is.
Hey, here I am.
Boom.
Boom, 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 boom.
Got to play Leap some more. That was fun. Kind of wish
Yeah.
Annie was here for that, but I don't know. I liked the role anyway. I always liked Nightcrawler.
Oh,
I
yeah.
always
Yeah.
Yeah. Nightcrawler's the best.
So
Yeah.
I can't help but think of him anytime teleporter type Pokemon comes along like this.
Teleport type of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Teleporters are some of my favorite like superhero type characters to write. Just because there's like teleporting and super speed, really.
Mm-hmm.
Just because there's a lot of room to like there's a lot of room to move around in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can really push the story forward quickly and jump into many different interesting places.
Yep. Just
Quickly.
really set a
It
blistering
all
pace.
makes sense.
Yeah, I really loved the appear, drop grenade, disappear move.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun to write. Leap's a lot of fun. She's super chaotic and just does what she wants. And it's kind of like showing a little bit of that duality of like the setting, right? Because you've got Grim Raven, who is doing what he wants, but he's still trying to like uphold some sort of like moral code. Whereas, Leap is just, this is what I feel like doing, and I'm going to crash a helicopter into the middle of the city just to do it. Oops.
Yeah. Oops. Yeah, I think that's why I like her as well. And I'm glad that we're getting introduced to more characters who, like, we're kind of following them instead of just sticking to Grim Raven, especially since he's been captured.
He is rather incarcerated.
He's rather incarcerated at the moment. So, yes. So, besides Leap, is there anyone else who Raven has helped out in this time who might be coming to his rescue as well?
He technically did help out Audrey, and
Right.
she'll play a role later.
But she's not a super, right? She's not a...
She's not.
Okay.
She's not a super. But Panzer is going to be involved in this whole operation to bust Sorley out, even though she, last everybody checked, was a registered hero. So we're going to get a little bit of information as to how that came to be, and then we're going to get into the heist itself proper in the next couple of episodes. So that'll be a lot of fun to see unfold and happen.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to it. When do you think? When is our next? What is episode 3 happening? Is that
2 weeks?
next time?
Because
2 weeks,
as I've been made aware, there's not another serial that's happening quite yet. So until then, I'll be bringing this to you guys every show.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to the next one. Thanks so much for joining us. Let's see.
Of course.
And